Welcome everyone to another Malware Geek review. Today we're going to be taking a look at something one of my viewers sent me last night, and that is ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware. This particular product is geared specifically at preventing ransomware, hence the name, and it is fairly simplistic. On the user interface, there is nothing really to it. It's just the UI. I really wish they had some options so that you could change some settings, but really there's not a whole lot to it. You have to turn off the anti-ransomware module by going down here to the taskbar and shutting it off. Other than that, there's nothing to it. This is geared towards protecting your files and restoring them in case of a ransomware attack. If we take a look at their website here, basically they tell you, every 10 seconds someone gets hit by ransomware. Ransom proof your PC. Well, I'll be the judge of that. Gives you a little synopsis of what ransomware is, how they protect you. Supposedly it analyzes suspicious activities, detects ransomware attacks and blocks them or restores the files. Auto file restoration. So supposedly it's able to restore your encrypted files, and it blocks ransomware attacks. Now, a couple of complaints right off the bat related to this product. In order to get their 30-day trial, you have to give them payment information, which I feel is a bit intrusive. I really don't feel that I should have to give you payment information just for a 30-day trial. But maybe that's because they haven't built in any kind of trial into the actual product, so they start charging you after 30 days if you don't cancel. Also, the installation procedure of ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware is quite long and annoying for such a simple product. So, anyways, those notes aside, let's go ahead and start testing. The ransomware protection module is active. I have some selected ransomware here. I have a couple of new samples here. One of them is a JS downloader, one is in a zip file. I'm going to try different scenarios and see how ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware responds. I have kill switch on the machine here so that we can see the ransomware action in memory. I also have some pictures and documents loaded onto the machine so that we can see if the ransomware starts encrypting things and if ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware is able to protect the files or restore them. Either way, you can see some of my lovely pictures here. Give me just a second here. Okay, so I have some pictures here in my pictures folder. This is very interesting. These may have been added by ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware as what they call trap files. If the ransomware starts to encrypt these files, this may be a way for ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware to detect the actual ransomware activity. Not sure how well that's actually going to work, but we'll see. The rest of these are the pictures that I've loaded on the machine. I actually took the sample pictures out of their default directory and added them into the pictures library along with a couple of my own pictures. Here we have some documents, and again, it looks like there are some trap files in here because the only ones that I did have originally loaded were the totally important document and the other important document. So it appears that ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware added some trap files in here to see if the ransomware would actually attack these files. So we'll see how well that works. So I have kill switch up here. Like I said, we are going to attempt to try different scenarios to see how ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware functions, and if any kind of ransomware activity such as JS downloader or a zip file is able to trick the program. So, give me just a second. Let me make sure everything is good to go, and I will be right back. Okay, everything is good to go. Let's go ahead and start testing here. So the first ransomware sample that I'm going to execute is this JS downloader. I believe this one downloads the Globe ransomware, or some kind of fairly new ransomware sample. I'm actually not sure exactly which ransomware payload this JS downloader does download, but we will find out. So let's go ahead and execute it. Okay, it appears that the payload has made it into memory, and it appears to have been detected by ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware. The Anti-Ransomware is analyzing and stopping the attack. And says, do not restart your PC. Let's see if our documents and pictures have been affected. Not right now. Let's look at our documents. Nope, nothing here. The two documents that I care about are the totally important document and the other important document. The ransomware is still in memory, and ZoneAlarm has not terminated it yet. So I'm going to let this machine run for a minute, and then I'll be back once ZoneAlarm either gets rid of the file or our files are encrypted. So I'll be back. Okay, so after a few minutes of letting this machine run, it appears that the ransomware was successfully able to encrypt our files. And ZoneAlarm is still analyzing and stopping the attack. Well, the interesting thing is that the ransomware is no longer in memory. And it appears that ZoneAlarm is stuck. It still says it's analyzing and stopping the attack. Well, the ransomware attack is over. The file has terminated. And our files are encrypted. The only file that survived, well, actually this one didn't survive either. Now that I look at the extension, it's a .726 extension. I don't believe I'm able to open this one either. No, I can't. So it appears that ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware has failed the first sample because it's still stuck and our files are encrypted, and it hasn't restored them, didn't stop the attack, didn't block the ransomware. So not really impressed at the first sample there. So I'm going to go ahead and restore this machine back to a clean state, and then we'll try the second sample. So anyways, I'll be back. Okay, we are back to a clean state. I will show you my pictures. My picture on the desktop is back, as well as our documents are back to a restored state. Our pictures are also back in a restored state. So now we are going to try the second sample, which is in a zip file, so I have to extract it. Well, never mind. I guess it's empty. So we will just call that one gone. So in this other folder here, we have some popular ransomware samples of the last year or so, including Satana, Petya, Ransomware, Jigsaw, Cerber, and WannaCry. The first sample I'm going to try, as normal, is Jigsaw, which is a .NET framework-based ransomware. Hopefully, ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware is able to do something about it. So we will bring kill switch up once again, and we will go ahead and execute Jigsaw. There's the fake error message. It has dropped the payload. We will see if ZoneAlarm catches it. Well, there goes my file on the desktop. It has detected it. Let's see if it can stop this one or if it hangs again. So I'm going to let this machine run for a minute, and we'll come back and see if it has done anything about it. So I'll be back. Okay, so after letting the machine run for quite some time, ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware has finally responded and says that it's quarantined the ransomware. Well, the ransomware was no longer present in memory, so I don't know if it left over a file or what the deal was, but it says it quarantined the ransomware. It says it can repair our files, which have been encrypted, so let's see if that's actually the case. As you can see, all the pictures have been encrypted, as well as our documents. So let's repair these files. Okay, so it says that all of these have been encrypted, so let's repair them. Okay, cool. It has actually restored our files. And it appears to have deleted the actual ransomware files. Let's check to see if these are accessible. Wow, that's really cool. That is exciting. It was able to stop the ransomware Jigsaw, but it took quite a long time to do that. So, but in the end, it did restore the files. Excellent. Now we will try Cerber and see how persistent it can be. So let's bring up ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware and execute Cerber. Alright, I'm going to let this machine run for a while as Cerber begins to do its thing in memory. And we're going to see if ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware can catch it. So, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so Cerber has done its thing. It's left its little ransom node here. It's taken over the desktop with its nice little Cerber ransomware desktop background here. Our file on the desktop is encrypted. Let's check our documents. Yep, our documents, nope, doesn't appear to have, well, it encrypted some of these, but it looks like my one document is untouched. Let's look at our pictures. Our pictures, it appears to have encrypted a couple of them, but most of them are untouched. So this sample of Cerber is a little weird. So we will see if ZoneAlarm is able to restore these files, specifically the one on the desktop, which is encrypted, and there is no other copy of it. So I'm going to let this machine run for a while ZoneAlarm is trying to remove the ransomware. So I'll be back. Okay, so after letting the machine sit for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes here, the anti-ransomware module is still trying to reverse the changes that Cerber made. So, instead of waiting for this to restore these files, I'm going to go ahead and try WannaCry. So I'm going to reverse this machine back to a clean state, and I'm going to try WannaCry. And then we're going to try the master boot record encrypting malware to see how ZoneAlarm responds to that. But this review is taking way too long, and it's taking way too long for ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware to really restore the files. So I'm going to go ahead and restore this machine to a clean state, because this has taken well over 10 or 15 minutes for this to actually function, and it's taken way too long. So I'm going to go ahead and restore this machine to a clean state. So I'll be back. Once again, we have restored to a clean state. No more of that Cerber ransomware crap on the desktop. Our picture on the desktop is once again accessible. Our documents are once again accessible. And our pictures are also once again accessible. So this time we are going to try WannaCry, which is the recent epidemic. And we are going to see if it can handle WannaCry. Then I'm going to try Petya, which is a master boot record encrypting malware. Because I don't think, and I'm not convinced that this product can actually stop Petya from encrypting the master boot record, but we will see. So anyways, let me start kill switch up again. Oops. There we go. And let's go ahead and execute WannaCry. It has actually hidden the ransomware folder on the desktop and is starting to extract stuff. It has encrypted my picture on the desktop. It has not deleted the actual original file yet. It has been detected by ZoneAlarm. Let's see what our documents look like. Yep, it's encrypted them, but it has not deleted the original copies yet. So once again, I'm going to let this machine run for a while and see if ZoneAlarm is able to get rid of the ransomware or reverse the attack. Still, the WannaCry executable is in memory. So we'll see what happens here. So I'm going to let this machine run for a while and I'll be back. Okay, so once again, it appears that ZoneAlarm is taking quite a while to reverse the changes made by WannaCry. Our documents have been encrypted and the actual original files have been deleted, and our pictures have been encrypted as well. Funny enough, it didn't touch this one, which is weird. The ransomware is also still running around in memory. It has not been terminated by the Anti-Ransomware module. It's still running around in memory, and it is fairly active in memory, as you can see. It is pounding away at the CPU and still doing whatever it wants, and has not been terminated. So, once again, it appears that the ransomware anti-ransomware module has detected the attack, but it has not gotten rid of the actual ransomware executable, and it was able to delete the original copies of our pictures and documents even after ZoneAlarm anti-ransomware detected it. So I'm going to go ahead and restore this machine to a clean state. Then I'm going to try the last sample, which is going to be Petya. Because I feel like this kind of thing is going to keep happening if I try the other ransomware samples against ZoneAlarm, because it just seems like it's taking a very, very, very long time to analyze the attack and reverse the changes. So, anyways, I'm going to restore the machine to a clean state once again, and then we're going to try Petya. So, I'll be back. Once again, we've restored this machine to a clean state. And now I'm going to try Petya. I'm not really convinced that this product is going to stop Petya, but we're going to try anyway. Let me get kill switch up and running. Give me just a second while it starts up here. Okay, so I've got kill switch up here, so we are going to execute Petya and see if it can be stopped by ZoneAlarm anti-ransomware. Petya generally restarts the machine, and interestingly enough, Petya has crashed. Very interesting. It appears that ZoneAlarm detected it and Petya crashed. So, that's interesting. Well, that's good to see. Let me restore the machine back and we'll try Satana. Once again, we are back to a clean state. I'm going to try Satana to see what happens. Satana is in memory. We do have a payload here that was just dropped, some random executable. And it appears that we have some errors happening here. But we can't seem to get rid of the error messages here. So once again, the payload is in memory. It has been detected by ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware, but it appears that the payload is still fairly active in memory. Well, it's not taking up a lot of CPU, which is what happened with the previous samples. So I'm going to go ahead and restore this machine back to a clean state. I'm not going to wait for this to actually quarantine and reverse any kind of changes or anything like that. And I kind of want to talk about it. So I'm going to restore this machine back and then we'll talk about the results and finish up this review. Okay, so now that we are back to a clean state, I want to go ahead and finish up this review and give you guys my overall opinion on ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware. Now, it is a good thing that the Anti-Ransomware module is detecting ransomware attacks. It is not oblivious to what is going on. However, I see a few problems with this product. First of all, it does allow the ransomware to run around in memory even after the attack has been detected, and that is a tad bit concerning. If you detect a ransomware attack, find the file and terminate the file that is causing the problem. Don't let it run around in memory. Because I feel like this product is actually letting the ransomware run around in memory and then is trying to reverse the changes. What I would like to see is terminating the file so that the ransomware attack stops, and then try to reverse any files that the ransomware was able to encrypt, instead of the other way around where you let the attack happen and then reverse the changes. It is an interesting concept. I do like the fact that it does reverse the files that were encrypted, as we saw in the Jigsaw attack, but it seems like if it is a very sophisticated ransomware sample, such as WannaCry, or the first sample I executed, it just seems like ZoneAlarm Anti-Ransomware takes quite a long time to reverse the changes, and it seems kind of unpolished in the back end. So I would like to see them maybe, change the way that they handle the ransomware in terms of terminating the actual malware file, and then try to reverse the changes, because it just seems like it's letting the ransomware do whatever it wants and then is trying to quarantine it and reverse the changes, which just seems a little silly. Seems a little backwards. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please like and subscribe. Share this with your family and friends. Right now, I'm going to say it's a no-go on this particular product, but it is an interesting concept, and it's not a total fail because it does actually work, but it just seems like it's a little unpolished on the back end, and right now I just don't feel like this product is worth the money they're asking for. I feel you can get better performance out of a good behavior blocker or HIPS engine. But again, it is an interesting concept, and I do think that they do have a bright future with this product. So, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will talk to you later.